see. It's a little bit kind of small. Fix this output video. I think that works better. Huh. All right. Well, can't get anything better than this. Does it look good? Does it look clear? Does it look clear for everybody? Let's see. I think it's maybe too extended. Let us try output stream, output video. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys see this clearly? Does it look decent? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, I'm just gonna get into it. First thing I want to do is just stream. Let's get into it. Just looking at what's going on in the market after hours. So right now, after hours, here's what we're looking at. We had Microsoft earnings. Microsoft, MSFT. So Microsoft earnings just came out. We are right now down 1%. Cool. So we're now here. If you guys remember before, we were at, this is where it was at before, right? So this is Microsoft. So Microsoft earnings just came out today. In the in the beginning, we were up like 4%. We were like, fuck, everything's screwed up. But on the phone call, on the earnings call that I told you guys about, they had bad guidance. So if you guys don't know what guidance means, it means they're telling us how they think they're going to do next quarter. So that earnings guidance came out and they said that it was going to be a lot slower. So key things that we need to be thinking about is cloud growth is slow and hardware sales are also down. So let's find that on this earnings call. Cool. So right now we have here the company finance chief said the PC market will go down 17% for them. And because they also cut jobs, net income fell. So overall, all of Microsoft had bad earnings, right? Obviously, with the recession, this was kind of known. But what are we looking for in the future? So we're looking at Tesla coming up, looking at Intel. Next week, we have Meta, we have Apple, and I think that is where we'll find our money. So right now we're down 1%, which means the overall market is now also down 0.5%, putting us back around 383, which is right here. So we're good. And we bought puts this morning. Obviously, it would just stayed flat, so it kind of killed us on theta. But I'm looking at long-term puts. That's why I'm still holding on to all my puts, even though we're down on them, because this is the chart. This is what I want you guys to be looking at all times, right? Forget the day-to-day. Forget the day-to-day activity. I want you guys to be focusing on the big picture. And the big picture is showing us this consistent downward trend line. Every single time we've hit it the last couple times, it's always gone down. There's no reason for us to all of a sudden be like, this time it's different. Because the last 5 times it hasn't been different. We want to take advantage of this downtrend. So that is why we're buying puts, right? We have Tesla coming up and we have Intel coming up. So let's look at Tesla real quick. Tesla, I think, is already too down. This whole Elon Musk took it down. I don't think it's worth buying more puts on Tesla. But the move I think I will start making is getting Apple. Apple had a huge run up back up to the 50 EMA right here, that blue line. I think we're gonna reject off it and go down, especially after we saw what happened with Microsoft, right? Let's see if I could find the actual thing here. Microsoft hardware sales. So I mean, Xbox down. I think we could make a good assumption that iPhones and the like PCs are also going to go down as well. So Microsoft is a good indicator of what I think is going to be happening in the future for the rest of tech. So this is one important thing I need you guys to be looking at. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Right. But let's look at another. Let's look at another trade that we're in. So we are in Nike puts still. Obviously, we're still Nike puts. Yeah. Screw this beginning thing. Look at that. But the thing I want you guys to look at is now this candle ruins my whole chart. It doesn't look pretty anymore. But the thing I want you guys to look at is this top side right here. We have not broken out of this 129 area, and even this morning, this should be red. I'm not gonna like this forever, but we are down to half. We're down to percent, and we're still going down after hours. So I think we're good there. Just going down, 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 down. Let's go over a couple other trades. So one thing I want to talk to you guys about is our 1K, 10K challenge. Actually, let me think here. Do you guys have any questions? Questions, concerns? Okay, if not, then let's just keep going through my analysis. Um, yeah, taking a look at my overall thesis for going short is the exact same thing. So again, keep in mind the big trend line. If you guys have the money, maybe buy some longer dated puts, right? Maybe some Marches, some Aprils. Oh God. So David Marquez says SPY put in a higher low on the overall trend. So we need to look at. Are you looking at the daily chart? Looking at the weekly. There's always a chance of it breaking out, but until it breaks out, I'm not gonna deny the current trend. So current trend is yes, we are going down, right? What are the odds that all of a sudden it reverses and breaks out the bear market? Probably not likely. So let's put this up here. So let's show the 1K challenge. So here is our. Okay, this is all blank, huh? Okay. Here's our 1K challenge account. We're at 945. We're at 545 buying power. These are where our current puts are at. Beto down 75, Nike 45, Spy 43. Overall, we're only down about $55, right? I know a few people missed the Spy put, but that's okay. We'll make it back. And especially with how we saw the market today, down already 0.5%. Our puts, this put should at least come back to zero or even in profit. So again, we're looking pretty good there. And remember, every single trade I'm making, I'm telling you guys the quantity I'm buying. Make sure you guys follow that exactly. Right? There's a specific reason why I'm doing these specific trades and putting in maybe a little bit more, maybe putting in a little bit less. Right? So keep in mind that. But this is where our challenge is right now. So pretty much we're literally back at break even. So if you guys are just joining us and starting, you can start at $1,000 and you'll be right where we are. Cool, cool. Let's look at what's coming up next. So we're looking at what other companies we're looking at. Intel is a big one. Yeah, Intel's a big one. Let's look at Intel. Intel INTC. Would I buy puts on Intel right now? Looking at this, probably not. So again, I think my strongest contender for buying puts is going to be Apple. I just don't see hardware sales doing well, and we're already at a huge extended top line. So let me start that entire thing again here. Let me clear this out. Let me clear all this out for you guys, so it looks clean. So why am I going to buy puts on Apple as opposed to any other hardware company? One, Apple is still very overextended. So right now, look at the bottom here. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me see if I can move my face. How do I move my face here? Oh, damn it. Almost. Okay, there we go. Let me move it here. Just move it this side. Okay. Let's start again, right? So why am I think Apple will go down. A couple reasons why. One, we're looking at the RSI, super overextended. Honestly, near the top, that means it's been overbought. A lot of people have it. But again, going back to what I was talking about Microsoft with bad hardware sales, I think that we're going to see hardware sales do really bad for Apple this year. I think one thing we can look at, let's see how Nokia does. Let's look at other similar stocks in the space, see how that works out. We have time. Apple reports earning in, yeah, report next Thursday. So we have time to be buying puts on Apple. Maybe we'll start slowly adding in on our challenge and taking profit when we see that. Uh, this is all fundamental research, right? Technicals, obviously a little bit different, but we're looking at rejection on the 50 EMA, hopefully. If not, we'll reach the 200 EMA and reject off of there. That's probably our next best effort. You can see here rejected. Where's my highlighter at? Here, rejected here. This whole area rejected. Hit that, hit that. So if we go here again, then I will be buying more puts then, and hopefully we can make some money there. Cool. How confident am I accomplish the challenge? Yes, we've done the challenge before. We got pretty high up, and then I had some issues where we had to stop the challenge. I think the last time we did the challenge was right before the recession this year, and we actually had to stop it because we realized it's not easy. Because we had the challenge all the way here, right? In 2021, we were doing the challenge, and it was easy, right? Because everybody was making money. It was a very easy bull run to make money with. Now it's a little bit harder. Obviously, we know how volatile the days have been. So this is hard mode. This is trading on hard mode. This is all easy mode right here, right? A little bit difference in trading here and here, but you can make money in bear markets again by buying puts at the top. Now, where's the top? Here's where I think the top is going to be. um, let's look at some other companies I'm looking at. Unless you guys have any companies you want me to look at right now. Let's see, looking at Meta. Meta reports earnings on February 1st. So next Wednesday, Meta will report earnings. If you want to buy Meta, we got to look at how Snapchat's going to do. Yeah, so Snapchat earnings will give us an indicator of how Meta will do. Usually Pinterest does well in any environment. It's a very weird stock. But let's look at that. Yeah, let's look at Beto. Good call. Beto, right? So we're at Beto right now, down 2% after hours, which is great. So if you guys don't know what Beto is a ETF of Bitcoin futures, right? Which means it's very tied closely to what the price of Bitcoin is right now and what they're basing on the future. So right now Bitcoin is at 0.23, but Beto is down negative 1.92%. Let's look at Bitcoin futures, BTC futures. Yeah, so here you go. So yeah, Bitcoin futures is down. Oops. Bitcoin futures is down 1.65%. So the people betting on Bitcoin futures, betting on what the price of Bitcoin will be in the future, are right now betting on Bitcoin going down, which means Beto, which is a ETF of futures, will now head down. And personally, I'm of that same area too, where I think crypto will continue, will go down again. And that's just coming from what happened previously in the past. In a recessionary environment, people are not going to be buying crypto. They just can't. They just want the money to buy crypto, right? Uh, let's just go down the list. FNKO. So what do I think about FNKO? Oh, okay, here we go. So we have this huge gap to fill. So what I'm going to do for you guys here, gap fill on stock. So let's look at FNKO together. Let's see here. So I want to introduce you guys to a concept called gap fill, right? So what is a gap fill? So right now we have a huge gap here. Let's see, we could just draw it out for you guys here. Price range. There's a huge gap here on FNKO. If we follow the concept called the gap fill, where usually most stocks will fill that gap up before doing the move, maybe we'll see FNKO just go back up to where it should be, and then from there it'll be normalized movement. We had a gap here previously, right? It fell, and it eventually filled that gap over here. But it literally took him an entire year to do that gap, right? So if you were looking at FNKO, maybe it's a good time to just buy stock only and hope for that gap fill to happen, which probably might. Okay. Let's going down the list, UNG. So UNG is at all-time low. The only problem with UNG, it's not based off of technicals, right? It's based off what's going on in the world. So right now, why is gas down? The problem with gas going down is, look at this, right? Cold temperatures are forecast to be short-lived. So they're saying, hey, it's not going to be as cold. People are not going to be buying as much gas. Therefore, there's no need to buy natural gas companies, right? Because they're not going to be selling as much. So if you're looking at buying gas companies, you have to be aware more of what's going on in the world fundamentally than looking at it from a technical perspective. Because from a technical perspective, this stock looks great. But from a fundamental perspective, plus we're heading into the summer, I don't think it's a good time to buy UNG, right? Going on the list, we're looking at Snow. Snow right now down 2% after hours, after going down 3% after hours. And what do we got going on here? We have earnings coming up next month. And I think Snow falls into the same area as, it's kind of falls into the same area as Palantir, right? Both in data management, data sciences. Again, not super familiar with Snow, but if you're trying to look at similar stocks to look at, if Palantir does well, yeah, so Palantir reports on February 15. Oh, let me move that for you guys here. Here we go. So Palantir reports earnings on February 15. Snow reports earnings on February 28. So if we know that Palantir does well, then we could make a good guess that Snow will also do well at the same time. So when you guys are buying stocks, I think one of our members was talking about this, is look at groupings of stocks together and they all generally rise together, right? A good example was Netflix. When Netflix did their crazy earnings run up, we also saw Disney going up as well, right? And then we also saw Roku going up as well too. And that was all based off of Netflix, right? They're all in the same space, so therefore it all rises up together. Now going back to DKNG. So DKNG, let's look at that. So I drew this trend line before because I wanted to short it whenever I hit that trend line. Let's see if I extend it out a little bit more. Right? Let's extend it out more. Right now, so it did break out and it retested. So let me see if I go in a little bit more. There we go. So I drew that initial trend line, this downward trend line that I was talking about previously. Let's look at downward trend line one more time if you guys don't know what that is. Downward trend pattern. So I'm going to show you guys exact examples of how to find these. Let's see, downward trend. Just had it previously. Where'd it go? Here it is. Got it. Here we go. All right. So I'll show you guys this. So one thing I want you guys to look at is a downward trend. This is exactly what we're trading on SPY too, right? So right now on DKNG, which one of our members asked me to do analysis of, I saw that there was a downward trend happening where every time it hit that top point, it would reject on going down. But most recently, what we have here is it didn't reject off this trend line. It actually went above it, went down, hit that top of the trend line. Now it bounces off. So what does this trend line now become? This bottom trend line now becomes the new support. So in theory, I guess now we could look at it going this way because now we're seeing the uptrend happening instead of the downtrend happening. So this thesis of a downtrend now became invalidated. So which is a good point, right? Now you're thinking, okay, if SPY is in that same exact downtrend, right? Same exact thing with DKNG, right? We're in that downtrend. Right now we're at that pivotal point where I'm looking, okay, is it going to break out and continue going up, or right, is it going to keep on going up, or is it going to break down and go like this? So this is that very pivotal point where we'll know if the market is going to go up or down. So far, it looks like we're going down. Again, we're down 0.5%, and Microsoft had bad earnings, and we have a whole slew of tech earnings also going down. So hopefully that made a little bit more sense. Let's go get CVS. So CVS, we are in that call still. Right now, what's going on with CVS? We are in the probably we should have cut it earlier. No, so probably we'll end up cutting it tomorrow if we don't see any upward movement on CVS. Right now, the biggest thing I was banking off of was this rejection right here, where I saw that green candle, right? But now we just kept on going down, down, down. So the last point of resistance that I have is going to be right here, 85.50, and you guys see why. Move that line down. You guys see why? Because it hit that point last time. So hopefully, I'm hoping that it acts as support. And because we have until February, I believe 2nd, so we have until here. If it hits that point fast, that's good because we could see a fast rejection off that support, and maybe we'll be able to recoup some of our losses. But so far, I will keep CVS. All right, if you have more stocks you may look at, make sure you guys ask those questions now, and we could just kind of relate it to what's going on with our signals. Am I bearish on Tesla earnings? So right now, I'm not bearish on Tesla earnings, simply because we are already at such a low point in Tesla's life, right? This whole Elon Musk thing with Twitter took the price from 180 all the way down to 108. Now it's back up to here. I think Tesla's already took enough of a beating where it doesn't make sense for me to. There are better companies for me to buy shorts on and buy puts on than Tesla, right? Another thing I was talking about before was Apple. Okay. SPY puts will be plus tomorrow. We'll be holding them or taking profit. Depending on where we're at, I think I want to hold them because I want more. And because I see once this downtrend starts happening on SPY, it will continue on going down. And because we bought time on our puts, right? I think we bought, what day did we buy it for? February 3rd, right? February 3rd. So we have until all the way until here. So if we get that theory of thesis going down, we might hit that 385 mark, hopefully. Okay, let's do this. KO, right? Let's look at KO. Yeah. See this whole morning screwed up every candle. Everything looks ugly now. Not a big fan. So one thing about KO, which is good thing you brought it up. What I see immediately right off the bat is a inverse head and shoulders, right? So we have a here. Now, oh, sorry. Let's do the reverse. So you guys see what I mean. So let's draw that out together. We have a here. Happy face here. I'm going to find that exact trend pattern. I can show you guys exactly what I'm looking at here. Look at this again. Yep. So here we go. Here's so good call on KO. This is why I like doing these um, things. So we're looking at inverse head and shoulders, right? So we have shoulder, upside down shoulder, upside down head, upside down shoulder, right? Upside down shoulder. So it's this way: upside down shoulder, upside down head. Now we're forming that upside down shoulder. So let me leave this top part here. So does this picture that I'm showing you guys right now look familiar to this? And if your answer is yes, that means good. We're seeing an inverse head and shoulders, which means a bullish stock pattern. So I think KO will go up. So good find. I will probably be buying calls on KO or telling you guys to buy stock on KO come tomorrow. Let's see how the rest of the week pans out. So let's keep that on our watch list. I'm going to write it down right now in my long-term portfolio. Looking to buy KO tomorrow. Boom. So good call. Whoever called that out. Zap. Nice find. And yeah, this is why it's important to have a group of people because there's no way I could look at every single one of these stocks every single day and keep track of what's going on with each company, right? So this is why it's good to have a community. You guys can ask those questions. Maybe we might get KO for the challenge because they're cheap enough and we could buy a lot of time on them. All right, going back to Nike. I think I already talked about Nike, right? The one thing I'm looking for is that rejection off of that 129. So as long as it doesn't break that 129, looks good to go. Let's see if it breaks down past this point. This 124. If it goes down 124, should be good. I'm looking for a retest of this section right here. So I'm looking for this stock to retest here and then bounce back up, right? But I want that retest, and that's why we bought puts. Okay. So Google. One thing with Google, we did have big news that they just laid off a ton of people, which is why we saw this spike in Google this last week, right? But as we just saw with companies like Microsoft, who also laid off a ton of people, doesn't matter, right? They're not doing good. I'm pretty bearish on all tech, but Google is actually a pretty strong company in itself, but there's a lot of room for it to fall. There's a lot of room for it to fall. Also, but Google is pretty expensive to buy puts on, right? Uh, let's see. I think Eric had a question. How long have I been trading for? What are some biggest wins and losses? I've been trading for full time. Been trading for about 5 years full time. Where's my full time job? Prior to that, off and on. When I was in the military, I was just buying stock, and then I would go off to the field and not look at my stocks for a month and come back and be like, wow, free money, right? Um, there's that. Biggest win I had was uh, I think I made like $360,000. I have a picture of it somewhere. I think I made a video about it, right? I made $360,000 in 2 days, right? But here is exactly why I need to tell you guys to not get greedy, to take profit, right? So I thought I was the best trader in the whole fucking world, right? I was like, holy crap, I just made a Lambo in 2 days, right? From 50,000, I made 360,000. I was like, wow, I'm God's gift to traders in the world. I got greedy. I didn't take profit, and what I did was I bought something else entirely with all I went all in, and I was like, I could make this $1 million if I'm right. Lo and behold, I'm wrong, so I lost the entire 360,000 that I made, and now I'm back at net zero, right? So So this is why I preach to you guys all the time: take profit and risk management. This is the only reason I keep telling you guys this is because I've done it myself, right? Okay. Apple, I just talked about it. We're already in it still. Let's look at Nvidia. Nvidia hitting resistance on daily. Let's look at the daily chart here. Okay, so let's look at. So what we're looking at right now is the most recent tops and bottoms. So here is a top that we're looking at. Just draw that line straight across. And obviously, market's closed right now, but pre-market we should be nice, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, if we're looking at Nvidia and we're also saying that chips are not selling as well, might be a good time to buy puts on almost any tech. Any tech is all related. Nvidia, Apple. This looks like a very strong contender. Maybe I'll wait till it hits that secondary, the more closer resistance, right? So this is where I would look at buying puts again. So this line is not straight. Let's look at this straight line. There we go. So this is that initial point that I want to look at right here. So if it goes back below this point again, then yeah, it's a good time to buy puts on Nvidia. Okay. What country am I from? I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. I do have live classes that I teach in person. If you guys are in the LA area, if you guys are, you're more than welcome to come out and hang out with us, and we could talk in person. If you guys are in LA, right? How much taxes am I expected to pay? So I'm gonna pay about six figures in taxes, right? Um, yeah, I pay six figures in taxes. I have a CPA. I have an accountant. We are working on strategies for to offset those capital gains, right? But the problem is you have to pay your taxes no matter what, right? On that profit. What I can do is I take that profit and roll it over into something that depreciates, such as buying a vehicle, buying a house, and then I could hopefully write off those taxes. A strategy that I'm now currently using is I'm actually putting all my gains, all my profits into my long-term retirement account. What that does, it gives me a nice retirement account that's not taxable, but that retirement account now becomes an asset that I'm able to take loans offer from, that I'm able to leverage in terms of future loans, and I could use that money, right? Taxes are a huge game. I'd love to talk about it more, especially now that because I'm making so much more money with all the trading that we're doing. Um, when I got hit with that six-figure plus tax bill, especially with crypto, especially with stocks, I was paying 40%. 40% of all gains goes to taxes, right? It's ridiculous. All right, guys, a couple more questions, and I'm gonna log off. Tomorrow morning, I will also do live trading as well, so you guys should tune in for that. If you have no more questions, I'm gonna hang up for now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll give you guys another 30 seconds to ask questions. Okay, let's see. Fast. Let's look at fast here. Fast. Same exact thing, just right off the bat. I'm looking at this downward trend line. So, right, it's roughly drawn, right? Super rough drawn, but we are seeing a downward pattern happening. What would I do here? Right now, we're in this dead zone. This is what they call ghost zones, where you're not at the bottom. Sorry, the bottom's right here, right? This is like the bottom, and you're not at the top. You're in this middle area. What can you do here, right? You could buy a call, you could buy a put, but it's hard to make that distinction. If it was here, if this company was here, then yeah, I would buy a put. If it was already down here, then yeah, I'd buy a call. But when you're in this middle area, there's no way. Nothing to do here. I would just let it play out by itself, and once it plays out, then you make a move, right? Um, yeah, pretty much. So I don't have a 401k. I have a retirement account. Okay, S bucks. Again, but the thing is, I have a CPA, I have an accountant that tells me what they're doing to lower my tax burden, right? there's no way for me to also do my taxes and also trade and also do my other businesses. Sometimes when you have that much money and you're making that much, it's worth it to hire someone professional to do it for you. Yes, I could do all the taxes myself, but I'd rather pay someone 10, 20K to save me 100K than try to do it myself to save the 10, 20K I'll be paying out, right? This is exactly why you guys are here, right? You guys are hiring a professional to help you with your trades. You might as well, when you're doing taxes, hire a professional to help you with your taxes. Okay. Last thing, let's look at S bucks. Okay, S bucks here. I think we did exit, and the good thing we exited for like 40% loss, 50% loss, as opposed to 80% loss at the bottom. Super glad I did. The only issue with our losses is we're dying on theta decay. So what does that mean? We're buying puts, we're buying calls, but because we don't have enough time on them, we're actually losing value every single day. Eventually, it'll catch up to us. And unfortunately, with S bucks, we got caught in that trap. Like we have, oh, good, chose the one again. Right, so we got caught in that trap. Like here we are, like it stayed flat here. Here we are again, it stayed flat here. I guarantee you, if you look at this stock in like a month or two, it will be down here somewhere, and we'll be like, "Fuck, we should have bought puts." But the only problem is, if it stays flat like this, where it just goes up and down this small little range, there's no money to be made here, right? Tomorrow, what looks like tomorrow for me is, again, I'm still leaning bullish side. Like I was telling you guys about, good example I was bringing up was fast, right? Good example I was bringing fast. We're at the top side here, so this is the bottom, right? Rough bottom, right? This is the top. As opposed to SPY being somewhere in the middle where we're like, what's going on here? Now we're at the top where I can make a stronger decision and say, okay, we're at the top, we're gonna bounce back down. As opposed to fast where we're in the middle, now we're at the top, so I can buy puts, right? Cool. So tomorrow morning I will be on live streaming. I'll put it on the Discord. I will also send out a text message for you guys to jump onto. We could talk about what we're looking at for the day. You guys can let me know if you have any questions or companies you want me to look at. But good call on KO. I'll be